Well, some of you long-termers on this channel will be very much aware of how depressed I get occasionally about the fix that we are in here in Britain with regard to our government, and I refer to the Conservative government as well as the present Labour one, although it is true that the Conservatives, while they were a bunch of lying stinkers, were not quite as incompetent as the one we have now. However, there is a dawn breaking over the horizon. I see little thin rays of light shining in the east. And one of them is this. Now, this is Business Insider, and they obviously don't think much about the incoming US administration. And so this picture of J.D. Vance is not exactly the most flattering I can think of, but still, the headline says all. J.D. Vance suggested the US support for NATO could be pulled if Europe tries to regulate Elon Musk's X as free speech debate rumbles on. I'm going to make this a bit smaller so you guys who have smaller screens won't get it cut off at the side. Right, so, and I heard an extremely powerful speech by the president-elect talking about free speech and saying if you don't have free speech, you don't have anything. And he's absolutely right. And, this is great. This is great. As a matter of fact, though, I'm not going to be talking about that in this video. But what I am going to be talking about is the fact that we can also look to the Americans for some really good news on the foreign policy front, because I've heard some political comment to the effect that the US government might be able to stop the British government from turning over the Chagos archipelago to Mauritius. For those of you who don't know what the Chagos archipelago is, it's here. What? You can't see it? Well, it happens to be just about the most important concrete battleship in the entire world. And it's important to America, in fact, possibly more important to America even than it is to Britain. And I'm going to be talking about that now. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Minds. So, David Lammy, our very own Chance the Gardener, decided with very little warning a little while ago to turn over the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. To be fair, negotiations over this were started years ago under a Conservative government, so Labour aren't entirely to blame. But the fact is that while the Conservatives are being the sort of sneaky bastards that they are, prevaricated and pretended to be doing something about it, Chance the Gardener went for it. Well, like Chance the Gardener, with very little understanding of the issues, absolutely no planning, and showing about as much control over events as a sargassum floating with the tide. And Chance the Gardener is poised to hand over the territory to Mauritius. Now, let's have a look at this. Mauritius here, how far is Mauritius from the Chagos archipelago? Well, it's like that. It's 2,191 kilometres away. That's around, nearly 1,500 miles. And Mauritius has absolutely no history whatsoever of a presence in the island, beyond the fact that when it was a British colony, some of the Chagosians were resettled there forcibly when the Brits made a secret deal with the US, who wanted a clear run for their base in the Chagos Islands at Diego Garcia. Now I'm going to zoom in a bit there, and you'll see. So Mauritius is down there, okay, and the Chagos Islands are, well, somewhere around there. Let's go in again. Let's go. Oh, let's move across. Okay, go in again. Ah, so the archipelago is starting to show up now. And Diego Garcia is down here. All right. That's not it. It's somewhere down there. It's still not showing up. Well, you get the picture, I'm sure. I still can't find it. But if you look at that red arrow there, or marker, or whatever it is, you will notice the strategic importance of this little group of rocks sticking out of the sea. It's a refueling point and a general point to the Far East and the Middle East, and it protects, if necessary, the shipping lanes that are coming from, well, China or Japan this way and to the Suez Canal, and also Australasian shipping. So it's extremely important. And the dopey Lammy is only too happy to get rid of it, to Mauritius, who, I have to remind you, are very, very, very friendly with China. And once China has domination over this area, when the news first broke, I made a horrified video showing the strategic importance of this area. And this island here, which is a very delicate ecosystem, would be built over by China into one of their artificial islands and places to make runways or whatever. So it is just a horrific idea all round. And as I said, it's one of the most important concrete battleships in the entire world. And also, as I said, this might be our salvation from the embarrassment of Lammy's ideological idiocy, because he wants to do this, I suppose, so he can boast he's decolonising Britain. Quite frankly, there's one bit of decolonising I wish he would do. He's, after all, very proud of being a Caribbean, isn't he? Anyway, he jumped right into the give this to Mauritius idea, and the USA is not pleased. Even the Biden administration isn't pleased, and certainly the Trump administration would be even less pleased at having what will eventually amount to a Chinese base right next to Diego Garcia. The out I can see, of course, is that Chance the gardener could say he's changed his mind in the service of looking after the Chagosians. You see, when the Americans and the British reached a secret deal in the 1960s to have an American base there, the Americans also wanted no natives about. And the British, always happy to ask how high they should jump, moved the Chagosians to Mauritius and the Seychelles and some to Britain. Well, a lot of those, Mauritius treated the Chagosians really badly. So they want to go back to the Chagos Islands and remain under British control, because they know what Mauritian control would be like, and certainly they, if they have any sense, know what Chinese control would be like. So Chance the gardener could say, look, we've had a second thought about this because of the Chagosians, and we'll hang on to the islands and do them a favour. Something else occurred to me. If the Brits do reassume control over the Chagos Islands, at least technically, and they allow the Chagosians back as well, then that means there'll be a job going for a governor. I'd take that one on. An island paradise, yeah? And with all those American facilities just across the road. So if anyone can get this video to whatever is passing for our government right now, you can tell them you have an applicant. Governor of the Chagos Islands. It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it? Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.